Now, we want to show, because the learned judge in the High Court said, he made remarks like, even if the Bank Negara has warned Datuk Seri Najib about the possible suspicion of money that came into his account, he would have ignored it because he was all too powerful, he wouldn't be bothered. Where he got this idea, we don't know. But he made that finding among many other things. So in order to rebut that, we now see development in three areas. One is Goldman Sachs and Tim Leissner has pleaded guilty in New York. In New York, when they pleaded guilty, they also said, in order to reduce their sentence, Tim Leissner said, he has bribed one MDB officers and other associated company officers. He has bribed them. The money that he made illegally, he used some of them to bribe people. Now, that is relevant because if the one MDB, SRC officers and others were bribed by people from Tim Leissner, which is associated with YOLO, then no wonder we got no warning from the senior management of one MDB and SRC to Datuk Seri Najib. So his defense that there is conspiracy between these agencies, who SRC one MDB, together with his own bank and his own financial advisor, Goldman Sachs. He has said that they have conspired behind him, they made the money, and he got the blame. Okay? The money that he expected to come from into his account are only donation money from the Arab. Okay? And he has given all those statements from the Saudi to the bank, and the bank has given it to Zeti, Tansi Zeti, who was the Bank Negara governor. Now, that's number one. Right? So we have made applications in New York in November, but until today, we have not got this information because apart from DOJ and the US government blocking that information, you can imagine that this information is so critical to us. The US government and DOJ is acting in tandem with Tim Leissner and Goldman Sachs to deprive us of this information which we need for this defense. Because when SRC case was going on, we did not know about this matter. Now, not only that, Roger Ng in New York is also contending to say that he knows of some information that should be with Datuk Seri Najib because he would assist him in his defense, which what they call it, Goldman Sachs and Tim Leissner. And this application has been made in New York by us. We have appointed lawyers in New York. Since November, the application is made. It's called a 1782 application. Namely, it is a discovery application. I think some of you have seen this. You know about the story. And then we haven't got, the judge has directed them to give to us. But they have come and asked for a stay. DOJ has come and asked for a stay in order to delay us, which is unfair. We don't understand why a government is behaving like that. I'm made to understand that they also consulted with the Malaysian government. What the Malaysian government told them, whether to assist us or not, we don't know. Okay? But it is strange that we are not being assisted to get documents which we are entitled to as a defendant. Okay? So we say to the court, these are forthcoming. I expect about 1 month, 1.5 months. When these documents come, I can file it for additional liability. Unless I get this document, I cannot file. And I did attempt to get this document since November of last year. Alright? It is proven. In fact, if you want to see, I've got it here. Alright? That's in New York. Now, in relation to Zeti, We now know for a fact that his family received millions, I think about 16, 17 million US from Jolo. And these monies were parked in Singapore. In fact, at one stage, the account has got more than 400 million Singapore. But apparently allocated to them was about 16, 17 million US. For who? For Zeti's husband, which is Aiman, Taufik Aiman, and his two sons, and their two sons. Okay? It is a bit difficult to believe that Nancy Zeti is not aware of this. Now we have documents. The documents in the form of statutory declaration, certified by a notary public, who is a Malaysian lawyer, very senior lawyer, and we have got what do you call it, confirmation from that senior lawyer that the statutory declaration that he affirmed, or rather he certified, is true. What is this statutory declaration? It's by four persons, Taufik Aiman and the two sons, and the company. The company is called Cutting Edge. They have made a declaration to say that they are no longer interested to claim the money, which is parked in that Singapore account under Cutting Edge company. Why are they not interested? Because it is dirty money. Because these are money given by Jolo to them. And we got some other evidence how close Jolo is to the family. Okay, I don't want to go further than that. Now, which means what Datuk Sri Najib was relying upon Bank Negara to alert him if there was anything amiss. He now says, no wonder they didn't alert me because they themselves are involved with Jolo. So that evidence is critical, so that this evidence becomes a lot more crystal clear. That the reason why he didn't discover the conspiracy is because the whole lot of them conspired without telling him. Okay? So we said, we have written to Singapore after getting the confirmation from the Malaysian lawyer. We wrote to Singapore MAS, Monetary Authority of Singapore, to ask them to disclose is this true, and the account of Cutting Edge and those accounts related to Jolo. Singapore authorities take 3 months to reply to say no. We don't know why. The pleading of guilty of one person in Singapore in open court. We asked a lawyer in Singapore to get a copy of the transcript. Singapore authorities say no. They cannot supply it to us. I don't understand why a court document cannot be supplied to me when it is important to my defense. There seems to be a very serious attempt by many persons not to allow my client to get many documents. Right? Now, we also wrote to the CAD of Singapore, Commercial Affairs Department, okay, to ask them to say, please give us confirmation and document pertaining to the Zeti issue and the children and the husband. They too just replied that they are not entertaining our request. So I have to tell that to the court. Okay, now I also have asked our DBP, not this DBP but the one MDB, and I have written to MACC and I made an application in court, in Collins Court, one MDB court, to say that this bank, M-Bank has been punished. Apparently, they have been given a very stiff fine to a very big due. Initially, they were recommended 5 billion fine by MACC, but now I'm told that they have been given a fine because of their misconduct. Now, what is their misconduct? Their misconduct is in relation to one MDB, SRC, and so on. Because, can you imagine bankers being in cahoots? Bankers in the bank being in cahoots with Jolo, being in cahoots with their officers in order to make money at the expense of Datuk Sri Najib, because he never knew what was going on with the bankers. Okay? So, we have asked from the court, we have asked from DBP, we have asked from MACC to give us the document and the information so that we can file. You see, in the appeal procedure, there is no discovery. During the trial, you can do a discovery. That's why we do the discovery in Collins Court, Justice Collins Court. But if we don't get the discovery, how do we put the additional evidence? We have got some, but they are not confirmed as to what this document is all about. But they are very telling, but we need more. So it is on that basis, you must understand, the adjournment was requested. I say that very clearly in open court, but some of you didn't follow and said that there is no reason provided. I actually spoke as long as that. Right now, that's the length of time I took to explain to the court. How can you miss that? Okay? So that's the reason why we wanted an adjournment. Not because of anything else, because this additional evidence is important at the appeal. Okay? If you don't understand, ask me. I can explain to you again. Any question?
Okay. You alluded that the High Court Judge, Muhammad Nasri, is inexperienced. Can you tell us?
I said that in open court, yes. What I said, I can repeat. Okay? I cannot say more than that because I don't want to be in unnecessary trouble. What I've said, in history in Malaysia, cases of this magnitude, this is the biggest case you can find, not just in Malaysia but in the world. I can say that. So complicated. One would expect a very senior judge with experience in criminal matters to be sent to hear this matter. Because you remember Dato' Harun's case. Dato' Harun has got two sets of cases. The first was Bank Rakyat case. And who presided? They sent a federal court judge by the name of Raja Azlan Shah to hear the case as a high court. Okay. The second Dato' Harun's case, which is Bank Rakyat case, they sent another equally powerful judge, namely Shafee Abdullah, who is none other than a very eminent private practitioner before he became a judge, both criminal and civil, highly experienced. In the case of Mukhtar Hashim, the minister who was charged for murder, who did they send to preside? They sent Hashim Yuksani, a very senior federal court judge, very senior. They sent him to preside over that case. In the case of Anwar Ibrahim, who did they send? They sent the most experienced criminal judge, Augustine Paul. And his other case was there's another case, Arifin Jaka was a very experienced criminal judge, former DPP for many years, members of the chamber, he presided. And then the Sodomy too, who presided? Somebody who was a former DPP, very experienced criminal judge, Zabidin Dia. He decided. He presided. So the question is, why in our case, on the last moment, virtually on the eve of the trial, you change the judge from a very experienced criminal judge, which was Sufyan, to a judge who is a judge. This is the first case in the criminal trial that he is presided. This is first criminal experience. So I say this because if you examine what I have submitted today, the principle of criminal law is difficult. Even the most experienced Lord Diplock made a mess of it in the House of Law. because he was not a criminal lawyer. He was a constitutional administrative lawyer. So he tried to dabble in criminal law, and he has totally destroyed our system and the English system. So I said it is not something easy. We always think that criminal judge can be so easy. Just appoint anybody and he can do it. That was my point.
Do you think you can finish this Thursday your submission?
Don't know yet, but we hope to finish. So we finish this week, they finish next week, and then we rebut the week after.
The government that you talked about, that DOJ will come and discuss and talk. This is the current government, not the future. We are talking about the current government.
Previous and current. We continue. It's previous and current. Because we filed long ago. And before we filed, they knew it. Okay? But you know that my application, when I said we need this information, even people like Lim Kim Siang and Lim Guan Eng say that Dato Sri Najib deserve to get this information. Why are you hiding?